Most people never realize this simple morning habit burns fat. You wake up and your body is already working hard. 8 hours of sleep shifts your metabolism in powerful ways. The world outside is quiet, cool, and still half asleep. Yet inside your body, something remarkable is already taking place. Your insulin levels have been falling slowly through the night. Stored glycogen has been quietly used to fuel your sleep. By morning, your body is hungry for a new fuel. That fuel is sitting right around your waist and belly. This is why walking before breakfast can change everything fast. Belly fat is one of the most stubborn fats ever. Millions of people eat less, exercise more, and still struggle. They count calories, skip desserts, and spend hours at gyms, yet the fat around the stomach refuses to fully disappear. This is not a failure of discipline or personal willpower. Belly fat is biologically different from fat stored anywhere else. It sits deeper, behaves differently, and responds to hormones more. Understanding this difference is the key to finally beating it, and it all starts with what you do each morning. When you sleep, your body does not simply shut down. It breathes, circulates blood, regulates temperature, and repairs your cells. All of these processes require a steady and reliable fuel. That fuel comes from glycogen stored inside your liver and muscles. By morning, those glycogen stores have been partially used up. Your body wakes up already leaning toward an alternative fuel. That alternative is stored body fat waiting to be burned. This is the metabolic window that morning walkers unknowingly exploit. Moving before eating means your body reaches for fat first. That simple timing difference can change everything in your favor. When you eat, your pancreas releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin signals the body to absorb and store incoming glucose. As long as insulin is elevated, fat burning stays suppressed. Fat cells essentially lock their doors when insulin is present. They cannot release fatty acids into the bloodstream for burning. But after 8 to 10 hours without food, insulin falls. The doors to your fat cells begin to slowly open. Fatty acids start drifting into the bloodstream, ready to burn. Walking at this moment sends those fatty acids to muscles. Your muscles use them for energy instead of storing them. Not all fat in your body behaves in the same way. Subcutaneous fat sits just beneath the skin and feels soft. Visceral fat sits deep inside, wrapping around your internal organs. Visceral fat is the dangerous type linked to serious disease. It is also the type most responsive to hormonal changes. When insulin drops and movement increases, visceral fat reacts first. It begins releasing stored energy into the bloodstream relatively quickly. This is why belly fat can sometimes respond faster than expected. When the right hormonal environment meets the right physical activity, change begins. Morning fasted walking creates exactly that hormonal and physical environment. Your body does not instantly switch into fat-burning mode immediately. The shift from burning glucose to burning fat takes time. When you first begin walking, muscles still use leftover glycogen. After several minutes, glycogen availability decreases and fat use increases. This is why the duration of your walk truly matters. A 5-minute stroll is pleasant, but metabolically not very significant. A walk lasting 30 to 45 minutes is far more effective. That duration gives fat oxidation time to fully ramp up. The longer you walk fasted, the more fat your body burns. Intensity also plays a critical role in fasted walking. Many people assume harder effort always means more fat burned, but the relationship between intensity and fat burning is more complex. At very high intensities, the body demands energy extremely fast. Fat cannot be converted into energy quickly enough at high intensity. So the body switches back to burning carbohydrates instead of fat. Moderate intensity keeps fat as the primary fuel source used. A brisk pace where you can still talk is ideal. Your heart rate rises, your breathing deepens but stays manageable. At this pace, muscles burn fat steadily and very efficiently. This is the sweet spot for fasted morning fat burning. Morning walking does more than just influence your immediate fuel use. It synchronizes your body's internal clock with natural light outside. Your circadian rhythm controls hormones, sleep, energy, and your metabolism. When you move and see sunlight early, these rhythms align perfectly. A well-aligned circadian rhythm means your metabolism runs far more efficiently. Food is processed better. Energy is distributed more evenly throughout. Hormonal signals become cleaner and more responsive to your needs. This single alignment benefit compounds over weeks and months of consistency. Stress hormones also play a major role in belly fat storage. Cortisol is the body's primary stress response hormone in humans. When cortisol stays chronically elevated, the body stores more abdominal fat. This is a survival mechanism hardwired deep into your biology. Morning movement in fresh air and natural light calms cortisol. Gentle physical activity signals to your nervous system that all is safe. Cortisol levels begin to normalize with consistent daily outdoor movement. Over time, this hormonal shift can directly reduce abdominal fat storage. Now here is the part that most people completely get wrong. There is one mistake that silently destroys all your results. It has nothing to do with how fast or far you walk. Millions of people make this mistake every single morning without realizing. They wake up, get dressed, and grab something small to eat. A bite of toast, a sweetened coffee, a small banana. It feels harmless because the walk still happens afterward regardless. The steps are counted, and the effort feels exactly the same. But metabolically, something completely different has already happened inside the body. The moment any sugar or carbohydrate enters your bloodstream at all, insulin spikes. That spike sends a single clear signal to every fat cell. The signal says, lock your doors and stop releasing fatty acids now. Fat cells respond immediately by shutting down their release of fuel. The body shifts back into glucose burning mode within minutes of eating. By the time you step outside, the fasted advantage has vanished completely. You are now burning the food you just consumed, not fat. Two people can walk the same route at the same pace. One drank water and nothing else before stepping outside today. The other had a sweetened coffee and one small biscuit. Both burned calories during their identical 40-minute morning walks outside, but only one of them was burning stored body fat primarily. The other was simply burning the breakfast they just consumed instead. This is why two people doing the same routine get different results. The only difference was what they consumed in those first minutes. Water keeps you in the fasted state that burns stored fat. Sugar pulls you out of that state almost immediately and completely. Black coffee is actually permitted and can even help you more. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system and increases metabolic activity slightly overall. It also encourages fat cells to release more fatty acids into circulation. This makes more fat available as fuel during your morning walk. But the coffee must be completely plain, with absolutely nothing added. A single teaspoon of sugar or splash of sweet creamer cancels everything. Insulin rises, fat cells lock, and the advantage disappears immediately forever. The rule is therefore extremely simple and very easy to follow. Wake up, drink water, optionally have plain black coffee, then walk. Nothing else enters your body until after your walk is complete.
That is the entire protocol, and it is remarkably effective over time. Hydration is another factor that far too many people underestimate significantly. After 8 to 10 hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated. Water is lost overnight through breathing and normal physiological processes quietly. Even mild dehydration slows how efficiently your metabolism runs during activity. Blood becomes slightly thicker, reducing how efficiently oxygen and nutrients travel. Fatty acids released from fat cells need efficient circulation to reach muscles. If circulation is sluggish from dehydration, fat-burning efficiency drops noticeably. Drinking one full glass of water immediately upon waking solves this. It restores fluid balance and prepares your circulation for the walk ahead. Hydrated blood flows faster, carries more oxygen, and delivers more fatty acids. This means your muscles receive better fuel and burn fat more efficiently. The simplest version of this habit is therefore 2 steps only. Drink water when you wake and walk before eating any food. That is it. And that simple combination is genuinely powerful over time. Now, a common question arises about whether this targets belly fat specifically. Does fasted walking directly melt fat from the abdominal region alone? The honest answer is that spot reduction does not quite work that way. Fat cells throughout your entire body release fatty acids during activity. Muscles throughout your body consume those fatty acids for energy burned. The body does not choose one region and drain only from there. However, visceral belly fat is particularly responsive to hormonal and metabolic changes. When insulin drops and movement increases, visceral fat mobilizes relatively more easily. Research consistently shows visceral fat decreases meaningfully with regular moderate aerobic exercise. Morning fasted walking creates exactly the right hormonal environment for this. Over weeks and months, the waist and belly region shrinks noticeably, not because you targeted it directly, but because the whole system shifted. Mitochondria are the tiny structures inside cells that produce usable energy. They convert fatty acids and glucose into ATP, your body's fuel currency. Regular, moderate walking increases both the number and efficiency of mitochondria. More mitochondria means your body can process fat faster and more completely. This adaptation does not happen overnight or even within the first week. It builds gradually over consistent weeks and months of daily walking. After several weeks, your body becomes measurably better at burning stored fat. After several months, fat oxidation during daily life increases noticeably and permanently. This is why consistency is the single most important variable in everything. One walk gives you a small metabolic nudge that fades quickly afterward. 100 walks over several months begins to permanently reshape your metabolism. The body adapts to repeated signals and becomes what it repeatedly does. Daily morning walking is a signal that says, "We burn fat here." Over time, the body responds to that signal in meaningful and lasting ways. Morning walking also positively influences appetite hormones throughout the rest of your day. Ghrelin is the hormone that triggers hunger signals in your brain strongly. Cortisol and ghrelin both fluctuate naturally during the early morning hours daily. Gentle movement soon after waking interacts with these hormonal rhythms beneficially always. Studies suggest that early exercise helps stabilize appetite and reduce excessive hunger. People who walk in the morning often report fewer intense cravings later. They feel less compelled to overeat at lunch or snack impulsively afterward. When appetite is better regulated, maintaining a healthy eating pattern becomes easier. This is not about eating less out of sheer willpower and discipline. It is about creating a physiological environment where overeating becomes less likely.
Fasted walking nudges your hormones toward balance and your appetite toward stability. Insulin sensitivity is another long-term benefit that develops with consistent daily walking. Insulin sensitivity refers to how efficiently your cells respond to insulin signals. Poor insulin sensitivity means the body produces more insulin to do the same job. More insulin means more fat storage and harder fat release from cells.
Walking regularly improves insulin sensitivity, meaning less insulin is needed after meals. Lower insulin after meals means fat cells can release fuel more freely afterward. This creates a compounding metabolic improvement that grows stronger week after week. After 3 months of consistent morning walking, insulin sensitivity often improves measurably. That improvement then makes every subsequent walk even more metabolically effective always. There is also a psychological layer to morning walking that drives long-term success. Starting your day with movement creates a behavioral tone for everything following. People who exercise in the morning tend to make better food decisions later. They feel a sense of momentum that carries through their entire day. This is not simply motivation, it is a genuine behavioral and neurological pattern. Morning exercise increases dopamine and serotonin, which improve decision-making and mood. Better mood reduces emotional eating, which is a major driver of weight gain. When you feel good in the morning, afternoons feel far more manageable too. One small habit thus ripples outward and influences your entire day's choices. This behavioral effect multiplies the physical benefits of the walk significantly over time. Let us put all of this together into a clear and honest picture. Fasted morning walking does not produce dramatic overnight transformations in your body. Fat is stored very efficiently and released relatively slowly under any circumstance. A single walk may only slightly increase fat oxidation for that day, but a single walk repeated 5 or 6 days per week consistently compounds. Over 12 months, that is roughly 250 walking sessions total. 250 sessions of practicing fat mobilization and metabolic efficiency. 250 signals telling your body to burn stored fat daily. 250 opportunities for mitochondria to grow stronger and more efficient. The cumulative effect of that consistency is where the real transformation lives permanently. Waistlines shrink gradually and then suddenly in a way that surprises everyone. Energy levels stabilize, afternoon crashes become rarer, and daily movement feels easier. The habit that once felt like discipline begins to feel like genuine pleasure. Your body starts to crave the morning walk rather than resist it daily. This is the compound effect of small metabolic decisions made consistently over time. The routine itself could not be simpler or more accessible to anyone. You do not need a gym membership or any expensive equipment whatsoever. You do not need a personal trainer or a complex structured program. You do not need to track macros or count every single calorie consumed. You need only your body, a pair of comfortable walking shoes, and consistency. Wake up before your household stirs and before the day gets loud. Drink a full glass of water before doing absolutely anything else at all. Step outside before breakfast, before the sweetened coffee, before the first bite. Walk at a brisk and comfortable pace for 30 to 45 minutes daily. Return home and eat a nutritious breakfast to fuel the rest of your day. Repeat this 5 to 6 mornings every single week without exception or negotiation. That is the entire protocol stripped to its most essential and effective form. The science behind it is real, layered, and increasingly well supported by research. The biology is working in your favor the moment you maintain the fast.
Insulin stays low, fat cells open, fatty acids flow into working muscles freely. Mitochondria process those fatty acids, circadian rhythms align, cortisol slowly normalizes over time. Appetite hormones stabilize, insulin sensitivity improves, and metabolic flexibility increases weekly. Every morning you walk fasted, you reinforce all of these systems simultaneously. Every morning you skip it or eat first, you lose that day's advantage. The difference between results and frustration is often nothing more than this timing. Not intensity, not duration, not the specific route or the shoes you wear, just the simple discipline of walking before the first bite enters your mouth. Tomorrow morning, your alarm will go off and a choice will appear. You can reach for your phone, scroll, and delay getting out of bed. You can put the kettle on and add sugar to your coffee automatically. You can grab a biscuit, a banana, or something small before heading out. Or you can drink water, lace your shoes, and step outside first. Your belly fat will not notice one walk, but it will notice 200. Your metabolism will not shift in a week, but it will shift in months. Your body is extraordinarily patient, and it responds to what you repeatedly do. Give it a consistent signal every morning, and it will consistently respond in kind. The morning is quiet, the streets are calm, and your fat cells are waiting. All you have to do is walk before you eat anything at all.